Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The Public Safety Park Recreation Committee is in session. We will go to the agenda. There is a section of the agenda that for comments. Once we get to that, we'll recognize folks with comments, and we'll have 3 minutes for your comments. That's how we'll be doing that. First item on the agenda is the November 9th, 22 meeting minutes. Any questions? Mr. Co-Chair?
I have none.
All right, we'll move to the public safety report. Director McGinnis.
Good afternoon, evening, Commissioner Singleton, Commissioner Edwards, Commissioners Gallagher. That report, yeah, after we go through it, I want to touch on a couple of points, but I'll go the whole thing. I'm happy that a couple things on 3 home invasions, 2 robberies, motor vehicle thefts, which we've seen like the last several months. Way up here, we're down quite a bit. So we had 6, which normally would be high, but considering we've been having like 30 plus a month, that's way down. So we've done a good job with getting people arrested, catching people in the act. A couple days ago, Sergeant G had we had made contact and recovered a stolen vehicle and got some suspects in custody. So that's good. 0 shootings for November. 0 shootings for November. So I'm pleased with that. Jumping down to, you have the link to the DCP report, the November report, as well as for the year end. They did a lot of good work. Actually, we have Sergeant Fields here. Really good, a lot of good work. Guns, some arrests. So we have that. One of the things, real quickly, before I let Kaz jump in, personnel-wise, Sergeant G is back to full duty. Very pleased with that. He's doing well. He's glad to be back. Itching to come back, so he's back and running his shift. We had a graduation of a cadet from the police academy yesterday, Cadet Taylor. He actually comes down here at the moment. We'll meet him next month. With another person that we have recruited, I'm pleased, very pleased, to have him here. This rather large gentleman sitting in front, his name is Cameron Erskine. He is born and raised Benton Harbor. Actually, I've known him for many years. I actually coached him. He is the son of DeAndre Erskine, who you know takes all the pictures everywhere.
That would be my next question.
Basketball game, or football game, or wedding, walk down the street at DeAndre. So this is Mr. Erskine. Kind of say hi. See you. Introduce yourself.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Cameron Erskine. I'm excited to join the team. Looking forward to all the new opportunities that
Welcome.
Thank you, sir.
So he really soft spoken. He's one of those guys that is like unusually, unnaturally strong for no reason. No reason. It's called people, these guys. So I'm looking forward to having him. He will matriculate in, go to the fire academy, police academy. He'll come in and do some stuff, help us with some code compliance projects. So we've been having some success recruiting people. We're now getting interest from people from other departments, jails. So that's been going good as far as, we won't touch that, but as far as our recruiting and getting back up. Also, I want to say, and I haven't done the numbers, but Benton Harbor, I think, is going to be, if not the second most diverse department in the county, with 2 Asians, we got 2 young ladies. We have Indian American. Of course, we have, I think, half of us are African Americans. So it's representative of our community. So we're very pleased with that. very pleased with that. And I will let Kev jump in with fire. We'll talk about fire stuff. We got another grant for a mobile and our update on the fire engine.
Yeah, so 63 fire incidents for the month of November. Major incidents, 2 house fires, one at 785 Warwick Terrace, which was arson, and one at 949 McAllister, which was electrical. Medic One, just wanted to touch on that real quick. Last week, we had a special meeting. You guys may have read it in the newspaper. We reached a settlement agreement with the previous director. There were 3 agencies that voted against that settlement agreement. Those agencies were the City of Benton Harbor, the City of St. Joseph, and Lincoln Township. We did not find that the settlement agreement was necessary based on what the accusations were. However, the other board members did, so there was a settlement reached. Anyways, we're moving on. We have new leadership at Medic One. Tomorrow we have a meeting with the new leadership, and I truly feel that the service to Benton Harbor and the surrounding communities is going to be better every single day. Just the changes that have been made since the interim director has been there has been more change than has happened in the last 10 years of that organization. So we're seeing a lot of good things happen. Firehouse remodel, it's kind of stalled. Unfortunately, our electricians got pulled off for other city projects. So once they get back, the firehouse remodel will be done. New fire engine is still slated to be delivered in mid-January. We had about a 6-week setback, but in this day and age, that's pretty much normal. It's nothing I'm even concerned about. Fire Academy is going well. We have 8 students getting ready to graduate January 4th, and then we'll be getting ready for the 5th Fire Academy starting in May. So we continue to move there. Doing a lot of external training. We had 30 students at Lake Michigan College last week, and also we had about 15 students on the police side. I think they got put in the training report, but for a leadership class at Lake Michigan College last week as well. So doing both police and fire. 112 smoke detectors, 25 CO detectors. We continue to be number 1 in the state of Michigan. And 3 years ago when we started this and we got the award for being number 1, we've already surpassed that in 2022. So good stuff there. And then the grant. So I'll talk more about the grant for the UTV from the Upton Foundation when we get to that piece in the agenda for or you want to do it now? Okay. So the Upton Foundation has awarded us with $20,000 grant for the purchase of a UTV, which is an ATV with a pickup truck bed on it, basically. So utility train vehicle. And we have quotes. We have everything, finalized on our end. We're ready to move forward. So we're asking for the recommendation of the Public Safety Committee to move it forward to the full commission at the next commission meeting.
What's it for?
So it's not only is it the UTV, but it also is a firefighting package that goes on the back of that UTV. We have beach fires every single year. They're a pain in the rear end to get to, so this will allow us to go off-road. We have the new, what they're doing along the ravines and trying to clean that up. We have things at the golf course that we can't get to with a normal fire engine. And not to mention just some of the different events that go on in town, whether it be the Summerfest event down at Yarborough Park, or things that happen here in City Center, the parades, et cetera. So, and it can also transport a patient for medical if necessary. So we have a patient at the waterfront and they can't get an ambulance down there. We can put a patient on the UTV and bring them back to the parking lot for the ambulance.
So remember last year, this past summer, whole Doom caught on fire. It's a pain to get in there with the engine. It's almost impossible if it's a heavy traffic day. So this allows us to be able to have mobility to get to spots, put on water, suppress it, do a rescue if need be. So that was something we needed.
So yeah, and we luckily the Upton Foundation was able to fund it for us. So thank you.
Is there any, so that's fully funded through the Upton?
It was, except for about $1,511, I think. So the 25, it came to 21,115, if I'm not mistaken, or something like that. So
impact to the general fund would be about $1,500.
Correct.
It was,
What's your-
I actually had seen that, what was it? A couple of months ago, the Muskegon convention, then I went back 2 weeks later for the Lake Michigan Beaches Association. And those were the first time I really had seen them in person, or how they was using them with the different lakes that Michigan has. So I didn't know they was even counting those. But how many of those that different cities had them for that specific reason? I know we seen them on 90211 or whatever that is.
It will be the only one in Berrien County that has one that can do firefighting. There's plenty around that can do patients and police. Nobody else has one that can do firefighting.
Cool.
Also, being carrying that patient off, I've been out there on the beach before, and
Sand.
law enforcement where you have to take a flatboard or something, dirty or something, and 4 or 5 guys trying to trudge through the sand and make it back to the roadway. And, that's time that's going by, plus the possibility of somebody else getting injured too. So I think it's definitely something that would be a good use, especially if it's only costing us $1,500. Just can't beat it.
It'll pay off.
Commissioner
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I totally agree. And it is an honor and a blessing to be able to receive something like that, living on beachfront that has a lot of recreational stuff going on. My question would be, is it at all possible that Enterprise would play a part in the purchase of this vehicle? Are the ones that we have contracted with for our vehicles, our city vehicles, public safety and all? I don't know, I'm just asking.
I mean, there's not really need for it, but it's paid for about 90%.
Enterprise would be the least. I guess the other piece to that is there's like we're looking at Bobcat. That's a Bobcat of Michiana has the contract or whatever for this area. So I don't think that they would be able to do it.
No, Enterprise handles motor vehicles only. This doesn't classify as that.
Okay, thank you.
And would these be kind of like almost specially ordered for different entities, fire, police? I mean, as opposed to anybody can go anywhere and get one?
Absolutely. Yep. Yeah, this is a emergency services package is what I think you're looking at.
Thank you.
Any other questions on that? Consensus to move this item to the full commission. Chair,
Yes.
Thank you.
let's get back to the code compliance.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
For the month of November, we started doing rental inspections. Coming here shortly, we're gonna start doing commercial inspections with the help of the fire marshal. We're still working on the abandoned houses. Me and Mr. Mitchell had a conversation today. We're gonna get with Berrien County in regards to some of the properties that they own that need to be demolished. Permits, electrical permits, we had 8 for the month of November for $1,475. Building permits / roofing permits, we had 16 for $23.43. Dump sites, there was a dump site on LaSalle and North Winans. I sent a photo out to my coworkers. Somehow it made it onto the news, and with the assistance of Sergeant G, me and him worked close on dumping stuff. He wound up finding a gentleman, and he was arrested on unrelated stuff, but he was issued a citation at the same time, and he confessed to Sergeant G about it. So that's a plus. Enforcement actions, we had 12 vehicles that were stickered with abandoned stickers. 8 of those were towed. far as business license and registrations, I had to do a little digging for this information. 82 business registration fees are paid, and it goes back from July 1st to November 30th for $4,150. Rental registration, there were 470 rental registration fees paid from July 1st to November 30th for $38,772.50. Mind you, that 470 that's what was paid, but there is more that probably wasn't paid. So what happens is come October, whatever's not paid, I send over as late fees. So when that stuff goes to late fees, it goes to taxes and it goes from there. Certificate of occupancies, I have 16 certificate of occupancies in process right now that I'm working on, and I'll probably have those issued out before the end of the month. Code and ordinance under review, there's still some things that's in the legislative committee. And you guys will probably have to attend that meeting and know what those are. That's it for me, sir.
Coach, you got a question?
No questions.
We'll move to item number 4, approval authorization for the city manager to submit Spark grant for Dean Clark Park improvements. Mr. Manager.
Hi, I'm Joelle Regovich with Avonmarsh Consultants, and I do grant writing for Avonmarsh. And so I just kind of wanted to explain what the project was. So right now there's a grant opportunity through the DNR that's using COVID relief money to fund outdoor recreation projects. And it's called the Spark Grant Program. Community can apply for up to 3 projects. The city has already decided on Hall Park as their priority project, and this would be a second project for the grant application cycle. And what it is to renovate the bathrooms at Gene Clark Park and also replace the play structure, the swings and the play equipment there. The building is 45 years old. It's been exposed to the wind and the ice and the snow and the sand for 45 years. Avonmarsh did an assessment of the condition, which is in the packet, and found numerous things that should probably be addressed at this point. And so that's what the grant application would be asking for with these monies. And also the play structure is about 15 years old. They last about 8 to 10 years in those kind of weather conditions. So we're asking for money to replace that structure as well. The grant program requires no match, so it would be fully funded by the grant. The applications are due Monday, December 19th. So this would be ready to go in the first cycle. There's going to be 3 cycles. If the project is not selected in the first cycle, it can be considered for the second and third until the money runs out. So,
Just keep doing it.
yeah. So,
That's it.
So it wouldn't affect the other grants.
no, so you rank them, and Hall Park is ranked first, and then the Gene Clark Park would be ranked second as a priority for the city.
Yes.
Any plans for a third?
There's a little bit of discussion on what the city would like to do for the third ones. Some stuff on Riverview Drive has been discussed, but it's still kind of being identified and formed up.
Coach.
Yes, one of the things that, within the last year or so, been brought to my attention a lot is a accessible wooden, plastic, however they want to say, pathway that will actually take them from wherever they park out close
Yeah.
to the water.
Yep.
And that is not accessible by, golf carts and all that, but for wheelchair accessible people.
Sure. Yeah, and
Could that be added?
it can, yes. So we could add that into the project. That'd be fine.
The other question, Commissioner Adams.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. And I think that this is a wonderful thing. And she already answered one of my questions, because I was gonna say, why not this amount to go into Hall Park as well? But since there were several that was chosen, and Hall Park and Jean Clark Park just happened to be a couple, is a wonderful thing. I'm looking at the justification, and we've been asking for years for some information, and this does not fall on this grant. But I think that it would do us justice as elected officials to hold people accountable when contracts have been breached. Because if the things of the facility and everything else has fallen into despair at Jean Clark Park, should not Harbor Shores be held accountable for their portion within the agreement for them to take care of the upkeep? I'm just saying. At what point do we hold people accountable? We hold the residents accountable for things, code enforcement, everything else. I'm done.
Any other questions?
Yeah, we've had items put on Jane Clark Park that the citizens didn't approve of or didn't ask for. And I'm talking about the statue down in the last curve down there on the north end. The citizens had no input on that, and I don't know if it wasn't through this set of city managers, but it happened. And now you're gonna add all of these equipment down there. Will the citizens, no, I'm gonna say it like this. The citizens need to be a part of that decision-making process as to what the hell goes on
What it looks like.
and exactly what it looks like.
Yeah.
Because that statue on the end could have been Martin Luther King, as far as I was concerned. And then everybody would have got a chance to look from the dunes and look down and see it. But you guys want to put it downtown, and I'm not in agreement with that, but I would like to know just what this process is going to be, because if the citizens are not going to be involved in the planning of it, then I don't think we should even have it, whatever it is. All money is not good money.
Any other comments?
Chair, I just want to ask one question. In your document, you speak of other repairs. What are those repairs?
Where is this?
Showers.
I know there's a yearly maintenance thing that should happen in a park that is frequent, so by so many. So is that other improvements, they included in those? I'm like Commissioner Adams. Harbor Shores has a responsibility for Jean Clark Park. So what are those other improvements you speaking that this grant is gonna do? And like the citizens asked if we have an opportunity to make a decision about the equipment.
Right, yeah, so, can I answer?
Go
Sorry,
ahead, yeah.
okay, yeah. So, this is just like the framework. And so like when it comes to the play equipment, we would have a process to reach out to the community and have you guys decide what the play equipment is. This is just like a placeholder for a dollar amount. And then I don't see the other repairs.
If I may, I know what they are,
Or what?
the repairs.
The other improvement
I know what they are.
through the chair.
Good, go ahead, Coach Jerry.
So the repairs to the playground is because I went out there maybe less than a month ago, swings need to be repaired.
No, I'm sorry, Chair.
I'm going down the list so I don't miss
No,
anything.
this talk about playground equipment, and then it says, and other improvements. That is what I want to have information about. Everything else is clear, except the other improvements.
Is that
Facilities and
Showers,
spaces.
in the resolution?
They already got that in.
water fountains going to be replaced.
Yeah, so,
They got that in there.
could that be, you know, a lot of times when you're doing construction, replacing the showers, the water fountains.
We don't see showers.
And then you run into something else, could that be part of?
Are the
So-
showers,
That's not considered other improvements.
I'm just-
oh, okay, so
So I just like
Memo, okay.
to be transparent about
Sure.
everything that's gonna go on in G. Clark Park. And especially about the regular maintenance that should happen annually. So we're gonna do it halfway, let's do it all the way. Thank you. Chair, I'd like to make sure that I get an answer to that question sooner or later.
Hopefully they can get with the manager or something. Well, can I, okay, Ms. Joel.
all it is add up to that.
Joel,
Yeah, so just to answer your question, if the list of repairs would be these items, that were completed for the inspection, the facility inspection. And we aimed on the high side, so like, we could like maximize the dollars that we could get from the grant. And just depending on when the improvements actually occurred, the way prices have been increasing over time, we wanted to make sure we had like asked for enough money. So it would be the structural painting, it would be repairing and tuck pointing the block.
You have all of that in this document. I understand that.
Mhm.
It's all good,
Uh-huh.
because the building needs it. But the other improvements is the question I'm having, so
This ain't
until you can get that answer, all your document is here except other improvements. So I like to know what those other improvements are going to be.
10% administrative.
Yeah, so the grant application is just asking for these items and the play equipment. There's nothing other.
Oh, then you wanna cross out other improvements.
I mean, the memo is not part of the
If it's not part of it,
resolution.
then
Yeah,
I would say that it probably needs to be.
so if you, well, I'm understanding in the.
Change order is different.
But I'm understanding if you got, you estimate on the high end, if you got some money left over, then if there's other improvements that could be done, if not over here, you got some money left. Do that instead.
so part of what usually happens in a renovation is you find things
Right.
that need repair that you didn't anticipate. And so that kind of like captures some of those repairs. We have to evaluate the water and the sanitary leading to the building and just kind of make sure that all that is functioning properly. And so that's kind of a catch-all for
That would come in,
those utilities.
come in the form of a change order.
So the way the grant application would work is we would ask for a dollar amount. I have very broad strokes of like what we're asking for is like bathroom renovation and playground equipment. So it leaves the door open for people to decide exactly what improvements they wanted to include. And these are the recommended ones based on the architectural inspection. But the way the program is currently set up, the Spark program, they haven't asked for an itemized list of like exactly everything. They've asked for like general scope items. So I have bathroom renovation and playground equipment. So it helps you.
Mr. Chair.
I got you.
Also, one of those
This
things.
is a legal document, and I want to be up front as to what we're voting on. So, change orders are different.
Mhm.
They go hand in hand with construction, and their application explicitly tells their person that's paying the money for this, what the grant does and what it does. So for us to see words like this in our document that has no purpose is scary to me. So I like to clean it up. If it's something that is anticipated, then let's talk about it.
Okay.
But if you have got all of this other information and you have not looked at the water lines or the sewer lines yet, somebody didn't do their job. So I'm just saying, if it comes up and I don't have an answer, you know what I'm gonna do.
Okay, let's go to Mr. Smith and then we'll come back to you.
Okay, now all of this focus is on Gene Clark Park. They ain't talking about nothing they gonna do the whole park.
No, there's another grant, that's what we have talked to you and him for that.
And we are doing
It's a
something.
done deal.
You didn't talk about,
Yeah.
we don't give nothing about Hood Park. The only thing we heard about is Gene Clark Park. Let's talk about the neighborhood park.
It's coming, brother.
Yeah,
We take care of it.
yeah.
Come and help us.
Commissioner Allen.
Thank you. You know, all of this is needed. It's needed, and I can totally agree that it's needed, but what we don't want is somewhere along the way, replace becomes repair. To end up, I mean, we can already agree that she stated that it's over 50 years or more older. It needs to be replaced. Let replace be replaced, especially if it has a price tag on it already. It's just kind of scary to me because I've watched what happened with the market over here. And we didn't get what we approved, but it's there and it is what it is.
Right.
So I'm glad that we're catching this on the front end, and I would like to see a committee of residents, Benton Harbor residents, play a part in this project moving forward if approved. Thank you, sir.
Okay, the item is to submit for the grant. You want to go stuff after that. Consensus of the board wishes
I agree, move.
Okay. All right, next item on the agenda. Rebirth Brass. Rebirth Brass Band Musical Festival at the City Park. Rebirth Brass Band / Musical Festival at City Center Park on 8/19/23. You know where that came from?
It's in Louisiana, but there's Mr. Little.
Mr. Plangers has offered to pay for this as a community concert that will be available free to citizens to be held in the city center park. And he indicated much in the fashion of the Nobody's Home concert that was held this past year. Having reviewed what he's proposed, we think it's a pretty good thing for the city, and we recommend it.
So what action need to come from
We just wanted to inform the
this
committee and
information
see
right
if anyone had any concerns, but other than that, we'll schedule it.
now? Fill out the application and all that stuff.
Yes, we'll complete this application.
Co-chair on that item.
So from my understanding of it, it's not the typical concert or parade that we're usually seeing. It's more or less in the Louisiana style. Most of their musicians or parades or events, even including homegoing services or however we call them. Majority of them are brass. If you look at all your great brass musicians, they come from that area. So this is something completely different, even up in this area. So not only just different to Benton Harbor, but it'll be different up to this area. And to me, when he first brought it to me, I'm automatically thinking, okay, you bringing people from Louisiana, brass, that's a lot of moving. And you're talking about the amount of people, that's a lot of movement. I don't know if we're ready to pay for it, but then once you come and, hey, it's something that's needed to keep in Harbor going. It's in the summer. There's no other events close to it. And from the people, from what I've been hearing, Ben Harbor needs something going on during the summer every month. And not just a once a year thing, and we sit back and we wait until the River Fest, and then we wait again. So it's a beautiful thing. That's what I know about it. The gentleman also co-sponsored the city's employees appreciation day. So
We'll be hearing more about this as
yes, he's working through Mr. Little, and I'll find out from Mr. Little how it goes.
Right. So will this event generate revenue for the community?
Yes,
And it's a free event that will generate revenue for the community.
yes.
Absolutely.
It will give opportunity to local vendors and local.
First choice. All they need is their permit and their license, and they good to go. Everything proper by the ordinance and all that, they good to go.
How you plan on generating the revenue?
Exactly. So if a vendor come in, I look at it this way. It's a stimulus package created by a private entity that wants to share that stimulus to the city. So through the city Parks and Rec, however you want to see that, every local vendor can now become an entrepreneurship at this time, or those that already done it. I got another income coming, at least for that day, or he's talking the whole weekend. So you can look at that. If I have to pay how much for your license, you figure that one day, that one weekend. Now, if that doesn't bring it to the locals and the locals can give it back to the economy, you're circulating that money that originally started in Louisiana. But at no cost to you, no cost to the city, can't beat that. So do it yourself stimulus check.
and with the, I think that's the question too, with the hopes of folks spending money, you know, at the vendors and some of the businesses downtown. Through that, you know, we got, you know, city income tax, you know, for businesses that, you know, they make the money as a 1% goes to the city income tax. So that's how, you know, then you get a chance for the people who, the business folks to make money too. Can I answer your question, though, sir?
Yep.
Okay. Commissioner Adams.
Okay, I do see where it says, since it will be free, open to the public event. Expected attendance and ticket sales is unknown, however. Okay, but anyway, this just reminds me of something I posted earlier today to find out a young man had killed himself. I think we need to be very careful of some things that we open up, just like people were complaining about the medical marijuana. I get a cream that helps my pain. But we got enough gyrating going on in America, in the world, for real. With all kind of malicious people that sit and stand back in the background and pick their victims. I mean, all money is not good money. And we have to be mindful and educated about a lot of things. But I don't think that this right here is something that we can educate ourselves about. And we have to be very careful of what we unleash. Because I truly believe as much as evil as good exists, evil does too. I don't play with chicken bones and chicken feet and all that other stuff. And I think that Benton Harbor being a faith-based community, I'd like to hear from the pastors and the community on such a thing. Because I'm not gonna make the decision for them as a whole.
Commissioner Henry.
Thank you, Chair. Will it come back to me before?
Thanks for giving us some information now, and as it go along, we'll be hearing more. Yeah, Mr. Lee.
We'll keep you apprised of what's happening with it, but basically, This isn't that kind of thing. This is like when you see the Mardi Gras.
Exactly.
Bands that march down the street.
Exactly.
As Commissioner indicated, where they're marching with a brass band and whatnot. It's just a different entertainment. It has no connotations to it that would be negative to anything or anybody's religion or anything like that.
No rituals going on and all that.
None of that kind of stuff. No chicken feet.
Mr. Chair, it's more or less of a cultural part of a culture that people in the Northwest, if you don't go down there and visit, you don't have family, you have no idea what brass music means to them. To me, it's good beat. To them, it means more than that. It's their culture. So to me, it was more of a cultural thing to get us involved in. In fact, I would prefer my kids, my grandkids, to listen to them than I would to listen to some American artists.
They have a Mardi Gras every year?
Okay, we'll be looking forward to more information on this as it unveils. We'll move on to item number 6, Unified Civic Monument Project progression. Commissioner Isom.
Thank you, Honorable Chair, Co-Chair. I'm here with Isom, Commissioner at Large, and Co-Chair of the Unified Civic Monument Project. This project, I'm gonna go back a little bit. We got approved to the city to support this back in December of 20. Then moving on, we got the approval of the placement of the park in Center City Park, June 6, 2022. And we brought the design to the MLK Monument design was presented to the City Commission October 3rd, 2022. At that time, commissioners had some concerns, and you can see everybody got their, it's in the back. You can see the monument project. The first one we disapproved. That's not the first one, but the second one, you'll see that we had some concerns about the wall height, the size of it, and one thing that was the quote that was on it. And so it was tabled that night. So moving on, we took the design back to the artists to render something different of the recommendations from the commission, some of the commission. And you can see on the back page, you'll see that the wall has been shortened down. The very back page, you can see it's the rendering of the monument of some things have been taken out. The wall have been heightened. The head's been taken out. And so before we trying to take this to the full commission to get this project started for approval. We got the approval for the support, approval for the placement in City Center Park. Now the approval of design, a seat at the table, the brotherhood, and that's where we at right now. So we want to take this back to the full commission. I have Mike here. He's on the committee. You want to say something, Mike?
Just that this has been in front of the community, Benton Harbor, for almost 3 years. Multiple pop-up events, churches, public events, out at Lake Michigan College, throughout the community, in City Center Park, door to door in a couple of neighborhoods. On our website, we've been soliciting opinions from residents. That's where City Center Park, the location, came from. That's not even on the table. So that's a resolved situation. So now it's all about the design itself. But really what this project is about is working together, everybody working together. And so we're patiently and earnestly working through the process, looking for all the support that we can get to better the community for everybody. And it's been a real joy working with the commissioners and the residents of Benton Harbor.
And on page 4, I know Commissioner Henry had a concern about the circumference of the, on page 4, you can look, it's a down view, looking down at it. You see it's still walkable space. You can walk and still get to the center walkway. The planters are still there. If we go to page 5, it'll be just like that. We have benches. It'll be Martin Luther King saying something, you know, something. You can run, you can walk. Now is the time.
Right there,
Quote.
check.
Now is the time, or something like that. You know.
So what we're down to then is, taking one of the designs,
I can say number page 4
Page
or
4.
5.
4 or 5,
Yes.
and the, whatever's gonna go on
We still gonna, I sent every commissioner question. What quote they had in mind, you know, so no response on that. So maybe we can take it to the community.
Yeah,
to the-
all of it.
To the schools or something, wherever it takes, you know,
some type of,
been Spears.
contest or something with, you know, somebody top, whatever, get picked or something, so that way community have an opportunity to say what they want.
Yes, this is an educational piece, you know, the lifetime, the achievements and what Martin Luther King have done. So, and part of that, St. Joe will be erecting one too, so.
Where?
I think it's on the bluff somewhere.
On the river
On
front,
the
in the
river front.
Arboretum area, where the old gazebo is, there's a
Mhm.
wooden gazebo that the city's authorized that to come down, so it's gonna be up on a hill, a little raised hill that's right along.
So if anybody here,
Walkable, reachable.
if anybody here, pastors, church, whatever know some quotes that we can come up with to put in on top of Martin Luther King's up here, something that reflects the community, bringing people together, hope, things like that.
Coach,
I just want to say it's been great working with you, with this committee, this group. And like you say, the walkway, and one thing looking at something that is kind of like, say, Photoshop, it looks like it's taking up more space in that circle. It's actually the same size as the circle. So actually the only thing that you would say, well, we got to move something, that horseshoe in there, where you got the little tulips right there, that's it. The size of the circle is the same.
Right.
We don't move hedges, we don't move the benches, the poles. It's right there. Of course, they'll redo the concrete. You can see that. But if you look at that circle and you look out there now, what's in that circle? That's it. And that flower bed is being what we take care of every now and then. Other than that, there's nothing there. But I'm just saying, there's 2 flowers like a horseshoe right there in the middle of the circle. If this wasn't there, and you look at it now, it's got the solar lights on it.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. So they're not talking about widening the circle, it'll fit right there.
Right, it's a conference fit right in.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? So that would be the only thing that actually would be moved, is that little horseshoe of flowers that's 3 feet long, something like that.
Mhm.
Other than that, they're not talking about moving the benches, so those trees are right there at the end of the circle.
Yeah. That's it.
So that's why I said they're not even expanding the circle because the tree is still there. That brown part is where the hedges would be anyway. So they're not moving anything, making the circle bigger, disrupting the rest of the park. And as Mr. Mike said, and I've been on many of these public hearings, We went as far as all the way to Fair, a couple of churches
There were far enough.
that way, was to Ben Harbor proper, Ben Harbor. We've been north, east, west, everywhere. Here a few times, we had people. No public hearing I have been to in my life have I seen 85% of the people attend. Nowhere,
It look like-
85%.
Thank you.
nowhere.
Okay.
it look like-
Commissioner,
Yes.
in the, next to the.
But I go to movies. I go to movies.
The, those trees, that's in this picture,
Mhm.
Yes.
they're there, right?
Yes.
They're there.
Yes. They did.
They're there now with lights on.
And then the, well, the next to the last page, you have, in the back, kind of like in front of the trees, a bunch of busts. It's not obstructing anything
So what now?
on the next to the last page.
Okay.
See that one little bus?
The bus heads. Yes, that's one of the concerns of the commission. That
There
so
wasn't only one.
so we took them out. So you see on page 5.
Right.
So
Honorable
we
Chair,
want to make sure that the residents. Go ahead.
Commissioner Adams and then Commissioner.
thank you. Because in all of this, I don't think that it may take over 400 more years to heal, but there's a lot of hurting that's going on. And we thought that when we painted Black Lives Matter in the street of Ben Harbor High School and wanted our partner, sister city St. Joe or brother city St. Joe to do the same, that healing probably could have started. But it evidently has not, because there was a kid sent home from one of the St. Joe schools last week before, that had on an Obama shirt. Do you think that this would bring about the respect of a people that's been so oppressed? Do you think that it would be very disrespectful to Martin Luther King in a predominantly Black community to put him right out on Front Street and watch his Black young men going across the bridge?
All day,
Um,
every day.
This is some mental stuff that we're dealing with, and it's not just me. This isn't just about a symbolic dream, a symbolic statue of a man that we as Black people love and respect, the majority of us. I wish that it was something that could bring about some form of hope, that we could all learn to live in peace and harmony with one another, sincerely. We're fighting right to this day for reparations. Has anyone signed on to the Breathe Act of Michigan? Do you even know what it is? Do you know that there's a fight going on? That we're demanding that promissory note be delivered. Fight for that. And then let's talk about putting King somewhere.
For me, hopefully it's a spot that would, something that would draw people to a certain location and begin to have conversations and, start some type of
Right.
process or something, so you gotta start somewhere.
Gotta start.
Yeah, training our people.
Gotta start.
Commissioner Adams, and then.
Yes, thank you, Chair. I did mention the circumference.
Right.
It didn't change.
Mhm.
It's still as big as it was.
This
So
gonna fit.
thank you for taking my consideration in that.
Yes,
It's still the same size.
but it's gonna fit right in there.
It's still the same size.
Okay. It's something to look at. Thank you.
Okay. Now, let me talk about those plants.
Okay.
Am I understanding that you guys are not gonna touch any of our plants? Because, we have people that value our plants. They value it so much, they come out and steal the whole plant and stick it in their car and take it back to their own community. So,
Commissioner, are you talking about the light?
I'm trying to get an understanding through the chair with Commissioner Isom.
So I don't count?
No, yeah, you do, but not on this conversation, because I finished. Then you count. Okay, so my question is, if the circumference don't change and the trees are being considered to move, plants, I need to know if that is true or not.
No, no trees are moving. If what it takes, if it needs to keep the plants there, the little plants right there, keep the plants. I know what you're talking about, the little plants that's in the horseshoe like that. In the walkway, you can see it's still right there. The plants are right there. As long as we keep this concept.
I mean, it is what it is. It's a great project for us to be able to come somewhere and talk about what Martin Luther King be crying about now. Cause ain't nothing happening in this 43 years, so yeah, it's a good thing, and $700,000 project is a great thing for Ben Harbor Park. It's a great thing, so let's push it forward, but we get what we want, not what they want.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Henry.
Why say your name?
$750,000,
No, 700.
$700,000 for a statue of Martin Luther King in the city of Benton Harbor, partnered with St. Joseph, Michigan. They call themselves Harbor Shores, Michigan, in certain areas. Our best friends, it's the amount of money that I think it's not being spent or even thought of wisely. Otherwise, you could find a lot more to do with that amount of money in a poor city. To look at a statue of a man who's been gone for a while now, dreams still out in the air, still the same smiling faces saying they so for and about him, but when it comes to the things that he actually said at the end of his life, nobody talks about that, just like they don't talk about 5G. Well, none of y'all, but y'all can talk about this. And you will not talk about 5G. You guys got it all twisted. I'm an old guy, but I know you young people is pretty much stupid. If you're gonna spend that much money on a statue, as much as needed after a pandemic, after racial problems forever still going on, while while you guys sit up and drink and party and do all of that with them, with the River Fest and anything else you come up with. But my people is still got problems, and y'all don't have one because you can put $1 billion on a statue was just gonna sit there and look at somebody moaning a man but didn't get his dream to come true. Do it. You're gonna do it anyway, so why you keep talking about it? Just do it. You're not gonna start at St. Joe, though, I bet you that.
I just wanted to say.
Do it at St. Joe first, and then I'll be in agreement with you. Right now, I was talking through the chair anyway. You should ask all the citizens in Benton Harbor what they think about that, not those little hand-picked people y'all run up and grab hold to and get answers from and write it down and make it sound like everybody in Benton Harbor want that. Everybody in Benton Harbor don't want that damn thing.
Does St. Joe's look like this?
We're gonna go in order.
Hey, no idols. You said don't worship no idols.
Thank you for your comments.
I mean, you good church people, we ain't supposed to worship no idols. That's an idol.
Thank you for your comments.
A very expensive idol that citizens need more. And I thank you for hearing me out.
Thank you for your comments, too. Sir.
I just wanted to clarify that there are no dollars from the city of Benton Harbor going
That
towards
ain't the
this
point.
project.
You
But,
missed the point.
no, I hope I heard.
Point of order. I'm through talking, but he's missing my point, Mr. Chair.
Okay, well, let him finish.
As I mentioned in my earlier comments, the kind of dialogue that we've been leaning into in this project, that is the reason for this. It's not about a statute. It's about the conversations, the difficult, painful conversations that need to be had.
You're talking to the wrong set of people. Some of our people ain't the right side of people. We will be trying to talk
Point of
about
order,
reparations.
point of order,
Talk
Chair.
about some reparations.
Point of order, Chair.
Maybe this will.
Put some money on some reparations for.
And I have hope that this project, it's not the answer. There are so many problems.
Right.
That we all need to work together to find the answers.
Yeah.
And so this is just a way to work towards healing.
Ice
And we
cream.
are having these conversations in
Ice cream.
St. Joe.
So,
Let's go.
Mr. Chair, you.
Yes.
That committee, so you, the next step on this is to
Take it to the
Pass
full,
it on.
bring it to the
full
full.
body, Monday if we can.
Okay.
If I get, you
I
can get
gotta
consensus.
admit, it is better. Number 5 is.
Madam Clerk, can you put that on for the next?
See if you can fight that type of man, Judge.
Thank
You
you.
fight that hard
Next,
for reparations.
next item on the agenda is the, can we get the short version of the Parks and Recreation update?
Thank you very much. Parks and updates that has already been given. Thank you very much for coming out.
No, they haven't.
Yeah, they have, right there.
Comment, next item on the agenda, comments, gentleman put his hand up first.
Go ahead.
No.
Who?
I go ahead.
Oh, no,
What you
okay.
say, that's all the parks?
Okay,
Okay.
in
Let me
regards
do
to
this-
my
Let me
comments.
do this since everybody
Honorable Chair.
has.
Hold up.
Honorable
Since
Chair.
everybody-
No,
Okay.
now we're going with comments, man. We're going with comments.
Oh, so I wanted to do that.
In regards to, comments, because I asked you in the beginning.
Okay, we have 3 minutes to, so.
Okay, but I asked you in the beginning if you would, and you asked me to wait until this time, and
Right.
your chairman, your co-chair bypassed what I'd like to
No,
address.
you can.
I gave you a document.
Mhm.
As you all know, for the past 9 years, I've been on calls with the Obama Foundation, working with Mr. Michael Smith, complaining about a lot of the things that would bring about not only the training that our community needs, but other resources as well. We've had attacks from the residents about putting our youth to work. Now we have something before us because Mr. Michael Smith, that ran Obama's foundation, has been granted to run AmeriCorps. He has vowed under the Joe Biden administration that for years it hasn't been ran the way that it should be, and he intends to change that, knowing that communities of color are the more devastated ones, that they would like to put their people in partnershiping with communities to get more things done. And I'm hoping that we can look at the broader picture and put forth a resolution for an RFP to go out to start the needed work on our armory using the community's taxpaying residents' dollars of the opera funds to start remodeling our armory so that we can house these people, and that's all they request of us, is to be able to give them a place to stay. They send them with their own funding. They help us to build homes, help us to redo a lot of things in the community. And I would like for you to look at not only on the public safety recreational portion, but planning economic development as well. And instead of putting our youth in parks with flip-flops on doing nothing, but standing back, gaining a paycheck, but sending them to other communities outside of their own and learning how to do some good, honest, hard work, where training needs to start. And they'll learn more value in volunteerism. I wish that somebody had been speaking on behalf of us as children on something like this, but of course we had brownies and Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts and all that. They still exist, but I'm hoping that you, sir, would put something forth to plan economic development and start the process on remodeling our armory.
will you have more information on this for the,
I'll be sending it to y'all, email, and y'all don't even look at it or answer it.
will you
But
have,
it's an opportunity of a lifetime that we should not miss.
will you have some more information for planning economic development?
Yes, I do.
Okay,
I'll be sending it forward.
thank you. Commissioner.
So what?
No, please, there you go.
All right, come on.
My name is Mr. Kevin, and I have a great concern in the community as far as trying to educate someone about the Narcan program. Because I come through an area, which is area about big,
Come on, good, so I can hear you look back and you go. Yeah, come on. Yeah, that's good, yeah, this thing came on, so it's kind of hard to hear you.
Okay, my concern, I'm Mr. Kevin Amos, my concern is with the community. We have a great epidemic with what you all know about the fentanyl and causing a lot of problems. And I've been around a while involved with that and have been a victim of that also. I thank God for the police officers because once they saved my life from it with the Narcan, but I would like to more to be done with the community, be educated on how to use the Narcan to save a lot of lives. Because I've been around my friend that said he died, and I know if people know the knowledge of how to use that, a lot of people's lives could be saved. So I'm hoping that someone can be some kind of way we can educate the community on how to use the Narcan because it's really serious issue. Because I've seen too many people die in front of me. I tried to use the Narcan, but I got there too late for the gentleman. If his girlfriend could have had it in her possession, maybe she could have saved his life. But when you're not in the knowledge, and another man just died like a week or two ago, failed, because if the young man knew how to distribute the Narcan, if he had it, he could have saved that young man's life. But instead he left because he was afraid. And he left me there for 2 days. Real good friend of mine. All these friends of mine that I just saved a lot of my friends, and also the one that just left, I just saved his life. But I think it's an issue everywhere, not only in Ben Harbor, but everywhere. I think the younger generation need to be more aware about it. It needs to be taught more because it's getting serious and serious. I had to go to Chicago. I've been to so many funerals. Two of my cousins done died from it. And another one died. I'm just getting sick and tired of seeing people die, but I know people can be saved if they're in the knowledge of that. So if anything we can do, the city can help to make people aware of that.
You know,
newsletter.
Just, that you speak that, I just talked to a gentleman a couple of days ago, matter of fact, and he was telling me about some information, I think some organization or even the state police may have some programs or something about pushing the education on training folks how to use, the Narcan, and making it available. I don't know, Dirk McGinnis, have you heard anything?
I don't know if citizens.
Because a lot of citizens coming to me and they're concerned because they family members passed and it seems like nothing ain't been.
Chairman.
So I agree, definitely that something needs to be done, and more education that needs to be made available. I talked to that gentleman, I'll be trying to follow up on that, and hopefully we can get something out there. It's definitely an epidemic, folks are falling off like flies, every week I hear, 2 or 3 people, some make it and some don't. So I know I'll be getting with you, so you can share whatever you know about it too, or some organization, and we'll try to force something.
I really appreciate that because, like I said, I'm really getting sick and tired every day seeing people, my friends pass, and it's hope out here for them, but people not in the knowledge of it can save their lives.
Some folks just scared, they think if they, that they might get arrested or something, and somebody died.
But from my understanding, they didn't change that law that we have to stay. I've been in rehab and they told us if we stay with them, and I just stayed with a lot of them, had to call the police numerous times, and I was scared approaching myself because they're gonna think that I was distributing to them. Every time I look around, Kevin calling somebody because they didn't pass out.
And that's going to help with the education piece, where folks can feel comfortable with calling, and if they train on administering some type of aid, then they can do that. That's going to help save lives.
Yes, it will. I know that it will. I thank God for the police officer. They saved my life. So it's very important. Narcan is a very important issue.
Get with you.
Okay.
Honorable Chair,
All
I'd like to just share some information publicly because I didn't know, you just said that you know of two. When I was going to Alpac, the Barron County Sheriff and the officers had put together a training for Narcan to actually put in our hands, even as elected officials, to be able to train some of the residents. So I'm sure if somebody showed up, because I haven't been in a while, and I admit it. You've been to an Alpac meeting? I used to go every month. And it lasted every 2 hours, and we used to have an officer that used to attend. I'm not sure if they still do. But maybe we need our own Alpac is what one of our officers told me that we needed. But to get with them, they have access to this stuff and can start a local training if our chief would push.
Also, I have my wife is a nurse and she's familiar with it. She worked under Dr. McCart. She's been a nurse for 30 years. She understands about most of the drug and how to use that. And she couldn't make it here today, but she's very knowledgeable of it. So,
like I said, I'll be getting with you and say whatever we find out. Who else we can talk to?
I really appreciate that.
Get something going, definitely need it.
Definitely need it.
I just want to say, like, public, just so everybody in this room knows, in 2016, Michigan passed a law. Anybody can go into any pharmacy and get Narcan without a prescription or being personally identified.
Yep.
Let's make the community aware so we stop losing lives over stupidity. Lack of knowledge. People make choices to do bad things, but if you let some people who are not making bad choices to know that they have options to do good things, maybe those good things will happen.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Thomas.
Can we put all this information into our newsletter through the chair?
I have to ask the chair of the communications.
And can we have a discussion too? Excuse me.
Commissioner.
He's trying to talk to you.
Oh, I'm listening.
Don't talk to me.
I want to answer one of his questions first, but
That question, I feel like I should be getting the answer to, just like I should be getting the answer about 5G. Can we get both of those information about both those things in the newsletter so the citizens could be more aware of what's going on than you guys are up there? Because you guys, I've asked that you guys come up with some information, you haven't. So I'm just trying to start the new year off, working with the citizens, getting them knowledgeable about these things, and especially about 5G. And what the brother was talking about, that too. But you got to do both. You can't just not do. You got to do it. I'm just starting this time of the year, so I won't have to start the year saying this. You might not hear me say anything else about it, but at least I want the community to know what's being asked for and what they're going to get or what they're not going to get. I forget how you said it, Commissioner.
Okay.
We need to do something, and I said now. Thank you.
You're welcome. Somebody else had a comment? I think Commissioner Henry, did you have? All right, somebody else wanted to say something, comments on, this is the comment section. You just.
Don't hold your tongue either, so she said what you need to say.
That's that.
Yeah, you can if you want. You got 3 minutes.
Okay. My name is Kathy Cornelius. He said I have 3 minutes. I'm gonna make it short. I've been fighting the problem since July 11th. I've been through all policemen, township, Ben Harbor, and everything. And they keep targeting my granddaughter. They already done beat her up. It's still occurring as of today. I put faith in the Ben Harbor policemen. Nobody never seems to return my call. I don't know what the investigation is, anything. And they don't came to my house with guns and everything. As of the other day, they came, they throw water that's there, they go into the water bottles. I mean, a lot of them. They try to tell the windows and everything. We thinking it'd be guns at that point, but it was not guns. These was water bottles. They had they been cyberbullying her. The other day they thought that I wasn't in the car. 2 boys and 1 girl. She came past on Superior. She was on the cross side of the street. I'm in the car conducting business. I do the veterans. I do home care for veterans. She thought I went out there. She said she was gonna get her again, the other 2 boys. I told my granddaughter, I said, you better whoop her A or whoop my ass. I handled the 2 fellas. I've been to people's mothers. I don't know who all these guys is that's coming there, but trust and believe me, I'm starting to get names. I'm going to the street now to get help. I don't know who else to go to. I feel like I'm a kid that's trying to run from a fight. Only thing I ask them, if I hurt one of these kids, it'll mess with my conscience. Instead of trying to come at helping me, they trying to find dirt. I'm telling you, I called the policeman so many times. They keep telling me the juvenile system sucks. I don't know who else to go to. I came to everybody. Nobody telling me what's going on. I don't know what's going on. And I'm tired of study going to different people and I'm not getting resolved. Anyone know me? I don't mess with nobody. My family stay to themselves. They coming inside our gates. They coming to the house because I'm trying to leave one house to my daughter for her and her family can continue. But I can't leave it because they steady going there. And I didn't know that Ben Harbor kids had a curfew. Police was there. They was at 11 o'clock. Okay, what was the curfew? Ever since they heard the police said that the juvenile system sucked, they steady keep going. I'm going to tell you like I told the police, I don't know who all these guys is. My grandbaby 13, 17 years old fighting her. They steady coming. It's only because of this. Something stupid. I mean, it's really stupid. I just don't know who else to go to. But after today, I'm going outside of Ben Harbor and I'm going to get justice. Because I'm not going to let him hurt my family. They may not care, but I love them. And I mean, they coming hard at us just because her mother choose to not let her play with her no more. And the guys, I don't know, but I have been digging into it. The streets talk. And they're not going to hurt them no more. And I told the police, I went in there the other day, and I looked some officer in the face, and I said, I would not do no more reports because I'm coming to find out all the cars I got. I didn't know nothing about them. I never got in trouble. I didn't know they never did reports on me. All this time since July, I had 2 reports done on me like I'm telling a story. I say it again. I take a lie detector test. I'm not lying. And they constantly trying to hurt her. And I'm steady getting proof.
So can I speak to that?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So, hold on. So,
It's her time, and then we
when
won't have.
I asked you about speaking to Officer Moore, like, who's Moore?
Right.
We got on body cam talking to you on at least one occasion. So then you said we didn't, he actually came to your house, has been investigating.
Who is Moore? Because I don't talk to several. I won't tell you no story. I've been talking to a lot of policemen, but I don't know who Moore is.
You said you called here, you may have called and get that. That's probably true. We talked, but when we talked, remember you said you just said you came across somebody.
Yeah, I talked to you personally.
You didn't even tell me that. So you first talked to Clark put Officer Moore on it. Moore had talked to you.
I told you a police came to my house. Did I not tell you? I said the officer asked me, what did he want me to do? What did I want him to do? I came to you and told you that.
But he has been and is actively working it.
Well,
He never got back to us.
That's my daughter.
He never came. He never came back to me.
So, she never talked. She didn't tell you she had been talking to him. Because when I talked to you,
yes, she spoke. She spoke with that man.
When I talked to you was the first time. we thought she was the mother, not the
No,
grandmother.
that's my mother. I be at work most of the time, so when my kids got to school at 3 o'clock, they're with my mother.
And let me also clarify, the police told me one day, I went to him personally. I say, how's the investigation doing? He told me he couldn't talk to me because it wasn't my daughter, it was my daughter child. He said, your daughter stopped the I said, why would my daughter stop? I said, wait a minute, let's call her.
So there's a lot of.
I never told you told me you was going to investigate this. Let me ask you a question. If you've been calling since, I know it's 3 minutes, but if you've been calling since July and you find out your grandchild getting hurt and you only got 2 reports, McGinnis, what would you do?
Let's report the story that we have, and we can come back and talk about it, or we can air it here. But we got it on video, him talking several times.
But he never came back to me but once. Y'all not once y'all coming to me, you're not coming back to me. So I don't know. They never come back and y'all not even calling me. He did come back. I told you this, Miss Gill. You trying to make me out of lie. You trying to make me out of lie.
I never said that.
But y'all never returned. I told you this. I said no police now. And I not tell you I have so many cars.
Can this be solved?
No,
I want it to be solved.
Mr. Cornelius, can I ask you to do this again? Okay. Yeah. And, what's your name, young lady?
Chinese.
And her daughter looks just like her.
Okay, can both of you again, and I know you feel like it's going around, but this is, we ain't gonna get it solved tonight, you know, and I would ask.
They not gonna help us no way.
Okay, but actually, can you do this though? Can you?
I'm gonna tell y'all this, and I'm serious on this. I would no longer do no more reports. The other day, yesterday, they studied jumping my granddaughter, and they trying to make me out of lie. I won't report no more. I won't do it no more. I'm done.
This is ridiculous.
He making me out of lie. I told them I went to the police. I went to Township, Ben Harbor State Board, and they coming with AKs. They come with man. The police told me I ain't gonna lie. That man told me, he said, let's just go out and shoot them all up. The police told me this. I'm begging y'all to help me.
Are you willing to still work to get this resolved?
Yeah, if
I'm surprised they did 2 reports since July. They got cyber bullies telling me they gonna opt my granddaughter. And they haven't did a report on me yet. Anybody know me will tell you we don't mess with nobody. They coming in my yard, in the gates.
That's not.
In the gates.
Coming on our premises. That's wrong.
Yeah. Well, I'm actually to continue to work with
They gonna lock me.
All right.
Thank you.
You ain't got one,
I'm
get
done.
one.
We got any other comments?
2 weeks in a row.
We got folks out
The
there.
gentleman here raised his hand.
Folks don't even get it.
The reopening after the renovation at the Salvation Army. Now I know that's a state funded program, but it's a lot of homeless gentlemen out here wondering what's going on because they haven't banned it. And I've been outside for about 4 weeks. I was working for Woods Temporary Staffing Service, and they not able to put me at work, and I've been sleeping outside for the last 4 weeks. Out in the cold.
In the Salvation Army closed?
No, they reopened it, but they have a ban list, like a ban list. Now, it was a couple of incidents where they were down there drinking, and they were fighting, and I was involved, and I can't find shelter right now. So I was just wondering if somebody could do something about that because it's real cold. I've been burning wood up in the woods, and I ain't took a shower in about 4 weeks. So
And the pastor just left one.
I'm not trying to commit any crime.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Did you try the emergency shelter?
That's the emergency shelter that we have.
No, it's another.
At the Vincent Building.
Vincent Building.
Yeah, I already tried. You talking about horror? Yeah, horror. That's the program that they have.
And what have they?
They said they got the money. They were gonna transport me to. They working on Kalamazoo. I done went to Sacred Heart. Yep, because I be drinking a little bit. I've been there twice. I'm just trying to get into the shelter. I'm waiting on the ID. But tonight I'm gonna be out in the cold, and I'm just trying to. If they could bend If they could be more lenient, you know, because I mean, I'm not a violent person. You check my criminal record. I don't know if we need to involve the police department because I don't have any felonies. I have no criminal record in Benton Harbor, Michigan.
You know, we don't have no authority over their operation. That's not a.
They're in the city of Benton Harbor.
Yeah, but we don't, like a hotel in the city of Benton Harbor, we don't have authority over it, you know.
Is there some type of stipend I could get for the travel lodge? Because I've been to the hotels. Travel lodge is the cheapest, then they got the red roof. I'm not asking for the Marriott or nothing else. Somebody could put me up for the weekend or something, any type of help, because I'm just tired of sleeping outside. I need to take a shower.
Hey, you tried Red Cross?
I don't know what Red Cross is.
Anybody got any suggestions for the gentleman?
Yeah, everybody give him $20, that ought to help.
It's only $60 for the travel lodge. I could take a shower and then I could go from there.
You got 20? I got 20.
Yes, sir.
One more 20 to go. I could walk out there to the travel lodge.
How about, I'll be right out there.
Yes, sir.
You gotta walk.
You came to the right place.
Yep. Any other comments at this?
You have to ask, seeking you.
I would just like to bring to attention of the committee, Mr. Will Branscombe passed away last week. I don't know if many people currently know who that is, but years ago, Will was the head of the NAACP here. He was active in the Renters Association and did a lot of work.
He gonna give me a
I'd just like to make mention of his name. He passed away. He was a good man.
Yeah, I attended and was watching up to speak at his criminal side of it. I knew him, definitely was a good man and the activist that fought real hard for folks. He was one of the original civil rights fighters in this community. Had his house blown up twice. Some things. So I would, matter of fact, I talked with the mayor. Hopefully that we can get some type of resolution, do something. Actually, before he died, he was talking about it, and probably discussing the idea of doing an honorary street, you know, in his name. You know, he was also a landlord and business guy. So I've been having discussions with the mayor. I think even though he passed, we can still do something. Absolutely. Yeah. Speed adjourned.
So I didn't get a chance to thank you guys for helping the brother out.
I'm just thank you. Right thing to do.
Yeah, got that right.
That's it.
I'll give a job.